Hi, investigators. Mike Evans again from the Australian Security Academy. And this week, the big news in Australia is as a result of the Hayne inquiry, the three big insurers are continuing their demands on private investigation agencies and individual subcontractors and investigators all around the country. Now, they're doing this to comply with the Hayne inquiry's requirements, and compliance is what it's all about. So that's fine. That's no big deal. So it's basically comes down to is what's ethical about how they go about it, what's affordable about how they go about it, and what is required when they're asking you to go about these things. So one in particular, Allianz, has come out and said that you've got to, if you're a general insurer, comply with the General Insurance Code of Conduct, known as GI COP. And they have funneled all the people that have to comply with that to the ANZIF. Now, that's a registered training organisation, and Allianz has said that they will only recognise the training from the ANZIF for the purposes of their tender. Now, this is a bit of a curly one, because when that happens and you exclude competition and you don't give choices, it's known as a cartel arrangement. So I'm sure that once alerted to this, they will go forward and offer alternatives to that training, which costs $72. At my registered training organisation, where people have been studying that program for the last 5 years, it costs $60. So, funneling people into one organisation and not giving them a choice and not allowing them to have a choice and making it $12 more expensive is a little bit unfair. So that's happened this week, but most of that training's been done anyway. The horse is bolted, the gate's locked, who cares? What they're asking out there is that you become a member of a professional industry association. So what if your choices are to join an industry association? Well, you can join the ANZIF if you're allowed to, if you meet their criteria. You can join the AISP in Victoria, and it's a wonderful association. I'm a member of it. You can join the AIPIA. I'm a member of that association. You can join IARTI, which is about stolen motor vehicles. I'm a member of that association. That's 3 associations I'm actually a member of. I also have several associations of my own. So with these associations are to promote the industry and to promote opportunities within the industry, and to make people who are aren't always aware of what issues are in the industry, aware of them. So Allianz, we're making them aware that they can't do what they're doing with funneling students through to one RTO and being non-competitive about it. In Australia, that's a cartel arrangement. So, all up, there are several choices to join an industry association in Australia. Now, the ANZIF is a very firmly established one, but within living memory, they had their first meeting on a corner in Brisbane, on a corner of a street. So you've got to start somewhere, and professional industry associations start somewhere. The Australian Institute of Private Detectives has been around since 1992. Now, that's an industry association. Less than 5 years ago, that industry association, represented by a barrister, went to WorkSafe Queensland and discussed issues relating to workplace health and safety for surveillance people at WorkSafe in Queensland. As a result of that, WorkSafe stopped farming out work en masse to investigators in Queensland. They handed it out to lawyers instead. So, thinking they were doing the right thing and not doing the right thing, the AIPD actually destroyed the careers of multiple surveillance investigators in Queensland. Now, that was driven by a surveillance investigator in Victoria, and he's actively bragged about it on the internet. So, you've got to be careful, and you've got to get involved if you're going to be in an industry association. You can't just join it and in your name, they do everything for you. So to get use out of an industry association, you've got to be active in it. So why do they have industry associations? Because what they have is code of ethics, code of conduct, code of behaviour for their members. So on your website, you can include their badge as a member in good standing, and that will help clients decide, well, will I go with this investigator or that other investigator? This one's a member of 2 industry associations. Does it have to be expensive? Yes, it can be very expensive to join an industry association. Those established ones that have been around forever, you're looking around about $200 to $250 a year for membership of those associations. But just like the ANZIF, there are emerging industry associations out there that had to start somewhere. So the associations, they have that code of conduct, they have that ethics, and it's all outlined on their website so people can see it. And what it means you're an investigator who's been accepted into the fold and you comply with that. It means, you're not in a Facebook hate group. It means you play well with others. So this is one I've got, one of my industry associations. It's a investigator networking group. You can see the certificate of membership there. It means the person who holds this has been to 4 continuous professional development meetings over the course of a year, and they've participated in that and joined in it and helped the association to grow at its emerging starting point. And we have 8 members of that around Australia currently, and we're growing it carefully and gradually as we go. The first industry association I ever started, every one of my graduate students, that means some probably 15,000 people around Australia, are a member loosely of that industry association. So that means they have access to information, access to myself, to my instructors or their instructors over the years for guidance and further information. And it's on the certificate that they were given when they graduated from the Australian Security Academy. This little gold seal down here says AIRLAP at the top. It means the person who holds this certificate as a graduate from the Australian Security Academy is a member of AIRLAP, the Association of Investigations, Association of Investigators, Risk Managers and Loss Adjusters, professionals. So that's an industry association. Now, that's not actually formal, but it's been in process since 2001. So for 19 years, we've been using that as our guide, as our confirmation that the industry who we consult with on these matters supports what we do. And people have that little seal on those certificates saying that. So it does say that. Now, you can join any industry association you wish to. My advice is if you're going to join an industry association, make sure that they're going to support you in what you do. You don't want to support an industry association that shuts down the industry in your state. That's the worst possible outcome. You want to support an industry association that's growing your opportunities out there. Now, I get a lot of people get disappointed because I say to them, join an industry association. They go to one meeting, and as a result of going to that one meeting, they don't earn $175,000 a year. Well, it doesn't work like that. What you put into it is what you get out of it. So you go along to those meetings, you meet a few other people who are established in the industry, you give them a business card, you check out their job vacancies on their website, that sort of thing. So you develop it over time. Have no expectation in any industry of going to one industry association and suddenly becoming very wealthy as a result of no effort. It doesn't happen. So industry associations, they're a great thing. Australia has a lot of choice with those industry associations. They're not hard to find. You can see them on my YouTube page. There's videos of their actual meetings in place, and it tells you what they do and when they were. So Allianz are driving that. I think that's a great thing. And they haven't said that you can only join this industry association, you can't join that one, like they did with their GI COP and funneling people through the ANZIF for that. So it's not just one insurance company. They all have to comply with this. So the others, whether it's Suncorp, Metway, QBE, Zurich, it doesn't matter who they are. They're going to be asking you as an investigator, if you're working for them and you're on their panel, to join an industry association. So now's the time to start thinking about it. Don't blow a fortune on it. Suss them out and see what you can find out there to help you develop within the industry. I'm Mike Evans from the Australian Security Academy.